Hello friends, welcome to the class of chemistry. I am Dr. Nitin Jadhav, Assistant Professor of Chemistry at Vidya Pratishthan's Kamal Nayan Bajaj Institute of Engineering and Technology, Baramati. Today we are going to talk about the chapter number 3 from Engineering Chemistry syllabus, that is Engineering Materials. So in last few lectures we have discussed about the chapter number 3 Engineering Materials is broadly classified into two categories and two sections. One is the polymer, another is nanomaterials. So since last few lectures we are talking about the nanomaterials. We have already discussed about the introduction to the nanomaterials, then we have discussed about the classification of nanomaterials, then we have discussed the special nanomaterial, that is the graphene, or the structure, properties and application of graphene. Today we are going to discuss about very important engineering nanomaterial or technology oriented nanomaterial, which is the recent nanomaterial, that is nothing but the carbon nanotube. So in this whole lecture we have to discuss about the structure, properties and application of carbon nanotube. So let us discuss the carbon nanotubes. So what are carbon nanotubes? Simple, the carbon nanotubes are originated from the carbon. The basic backbone for the carbon nanotube is the carbon. There are large number of carbons come together, they form a polymerization and long cylindrical chain formation, long cylindrical tube formation takes place. This is nothing but it is the carbon nanotubes. So what are the carbon nanotubes? The carbon nanotubes are the allotrope of the carbon with a cylindrical structure, can be capped on the end with buckyball or open-ended structure. These are composed of entirely sp2 hybrid bonds. So this carbon nanotube either it is closed from both sides or it may be open by the both side. It is the allotrope of one of the allotrope of the carbon, and the all bonds present in carbon nanotube are the sp2 bonds. So these are not sp3 hybrid bond, these are the sp2 hybrid bonds. So carbon nanotubes are nothing but suppose this is a graphene sheet. If we roll this graphene sheet, whatever the structure formation takes place, this is nothing but it is the carbon nanotube. So carbon nanotube is nothing but it is a single rolling of a graphene sheet to form a tube which is called as carbon nanotube. So this is the schematic presentation of carbon nanotube, schematic diagram of carbon nanotube. This is STM image, scanning tunneling image of CNT, actual image which can be seen under the microscope. Which microscope? Scanning tunneling microscope. So this is called as STM image of the carbon nanotube. Then what are the carbon nanotubes? Generally the CNTs are a tubular form of the carbon with a diameter as small as 1 nanometer. So diameter may be as small as 1 nanometer. Here we can see this is the carbon graphene sheet. If we roll this graphene sheet, there is formation of tube. The CNT, so length is up to few nanometer to micron. Diameter may be up to 1 nanometer and length may be up to few nanometer to few microns. CNT is configurationally equivalent to the two-dimensional graphene sheet rolled up into tube. As we know, this is the two-dimensional graphene sheet. If we roll this two-dimensional graphene sheet, there is a formation of carbon nanotube. Depending upon the position of rolling or direction of rolling, CNT is classified into three categories. So suppose this is the graphene sheet. If we roll this graphene sheet from this end to this end, this rolling is there. Or if we roll this graphene sheet from this end to this end, this type of rolling is there. Or if we roll the graphene sheet from this end to this end. So these arrows suggest the direction of rolling of the graphene sheet. Depending upon this direction, there are different types of carbon nanotube. So if we roll the graphene sheet from this direction to this direction, so the upper surface will be like this, zigzag, zigzag, zigzag. You can see here there is a zigzag formation takes place. This is the zigzag state formation, and hence this type of carbon nanotube is called as zigzag carbon nanotube. And these zigzag carbon nanotube are of semiconductor type. So my dear friend, this is very important. Depending upon the you can say direction of rolling, the property of carbon nanotube changes. If we change the direction of rolling of graphene sheet, the property of carbon nanotube changes. So this forms a zigzag type of semiconductor, or the zigzag type of carbon nanotube which is semiconducting in nature. Here you can see zigzag nature formation takes place. So the another is, if we roll this graphene sheet by this direction, so if we roll the graphene sheet by this direction, then there is a formation of armchair structure. You can see here is the one chair formation, then arm formation, chair formation, arm formation. So you can see here this open ended structure is armchair formation. So this is called as armchair formation. So this armchair carbon nanotube is conductor in nature or conducting in nature. So my dear friend, as we discussed, depending upon the nature of rolling of graphene sheet, direction of rolling of graphene sheet, the properties of nanotube are going to change. And if we roll the graphene sheet from this direction to this direction, then there is a formation of chiral type of carbon nanotube. Chiral is the mixture of zigzag and armchair. This is called as. So here is the armchair, then zigzag, then armchair, then zigzag. So this type of the chiral carbon nanotube formation takes place. Please note that this chiral carbon nanotube are insulating in nature. So these are the insulators. So my dear friend, this is the beauty of carbon nanotube. A single tube, a single material which can show all the three properties of conduction. That is, it can be a conductor, it can be a semiconductor, it can be an insulator. And please note, this is very good conductor, as like of superconductor. So these are the very good conductor, having very high conductivity. Also these are the very good semiconductors. So it has large number of application, vast application in semiconducting industry, or you can say the electronic industry. Then these are the insulator also. So depending upon the direction of rolling, the carbon nanotube are forming the different type of carbon nanotubes like armchair, zigzag and chiral, which has different property. And that's why, my dear friend, this material has tremendous application in engineering field, tremendous application in technological field, because this is the beauty of this material. This material can converted into any form, conductor, semiconductor, insulator. So properties are changing and the large number of applications are changing. So the new fields will be open for this carbon nanotube. We can use this carbon nanotube in different fields. So there is a huge scope for use of carbon nanotube in different fields. So we can see it may be a closed end, it may be a open end like this. So depending upon the you can say formation of the tube or condition of the reaction, either it is open ended or it is closed ended tube formation takes place. So this is the single armchair, this is the zigzag, this is the chiral, either it is open ended or structure or it is the closed ended structure. So this is the one dimensional electronic structure of carbon nanotube, just as shown by the rolling up how the carbon nanotube, armchair, zigzag and chiral carbon nanotube formation takes place. My dear friend, he is the father of carbon nanotube. So he is the Japanese electron microscopist, Japanese scientist Sumio Lijima. He has discovered the carbon nanotube in 1991. So he was doing the experiment on the arc discharge method, deposition of the fullerene, and accidentally has discovered the carbon nanotube. His intention was not to develop or discover the carbon nanotube. He was working on his regular experiment, that is the arc discharge evaporation method for the synthesis of fullerene, and meanwhile he found that something new structure has been prepared, and that structure was nothing but he has named as carbon nanotube. This structure was discovered in 1991. Then these are the single wall carbon nanotube. So as we know, there are two type of carbon nanotube. One is the single wall carbon nanotube and another is multi wall carbon nanotube. Single wall means there is a single tube only. Multi wall means there are large number of tubes. Inside the tubes formation takes place, and these are nothing but these are called as multi wall carbon nanotube. So if we consider a single graphene sheet, if we roll up, there is a formation of single wall carbon nanotube. The multi-walled carbon nanotubes are nothing but these are the multiple layers of graphene sheet. If we roll up, there is a formation of multi-wall graphene nanotube. That means one nanotube inside which another nanotube, inside which another nanotube. You can see here, this is the one carbon nanotube, this is the another carbon nanotube, this is the another, this is another. So there are large number of carbon nanotube, one inside other. So in this way, this type of carbon nanotubes are called as multi-wall. Why multi-wall? This is the one wall, this is the second wall, this is third wall, this is fourth wall. So there are large number of walls which are present inside the tube, and that's why it is called as multi-wall carbon nanotube. These are more resistant to the chemical changes as compared to CNT. So CNT are little bit reactive. The multi-wall carbon nanotubes are very less reactive to the chemicals. So now we'll discuss about the history of CNT. So in 1991 there was first discovery of multi-wall carbon nanotube accidentally by Sumio Lijima. Then in 1992 the conductivity of carbon nanotube has been discovered. Then in 1993 the structural rigidity of carbon nanotube had been found. Then in 1993 again synthesis of single wall nanotube has been done successfully. Then in 1995 the nanotubes were used as a field emitter. Then in 1997 the nanotubes were used for the hydrogen storage. These all were the lab application, not commercial application, lab application. In 1998 there was a synthesis of nanotube on FP pods. In 2000 the thermal conductivity of nanotubes has been observed. In 2001 integration of carbon nanotube for logic circuit has been developed. This was the another invention, good invention for the application point of view. Then in 2001 intrinsic superconductivity of carbon nanotube has been observed. So these are the development progresses of carbon nanotube, and in this way carbon nanotube has been evolved. And after 2001 there was a tremendous huge amount of work has been gone on the carbon nanotube, and nowadays the carbon nanotube is used in each and every field. There is an open scope for this carbon nanotube. People are using everywhere, people are using this carbon nanotube. So let us discuss about the properties of carbon nanotube. What are the properties of carbon nanotube? If we consider the length to diameter ratio, suppose if diameter is 1, the length should be this much. So this much will be the length of the carbon nanotube. So length to diameter ratio is this. Diameter of carbon nanotube may be from 3 to 9 nanometer depending upon either single wall or multi wall. We also know it ranges from 1 nanometer also, 1 nanometer to 9 nanometer. So length in the millimeter range is also there. So length varies from nanometer to millimeter. Then these are the efficient electronic conductors. These can act as a both thermal conductor and thermal insulator. As we have discussed, this can act as a conductor, this can act as a semiconductor, this can act as an insulator, this can be a thermal conductor, this can be a thermal insulator. So electric conductor as well as thermal conductor and insulators are there. Next we will discuss detailed properties of carbon nanotube. Let us discuss first the mechanical property of carbon nanotube. So it is the one-dimensional nanomaterial. We have already discussed the classification of nanomaterial. The nanomaterials can be classified into 4 categories: 0-dimensional nanomaterial, 1-dimensional nanomaterial, 2-dimensional nanomaterial, and 3-dimensional nanomaterial. So this is nothing but this is the one-dimensional, single-dimensional nanomaterial. Only tube formation is there. It is sp3 hybridization. It is formed through sp2 hybridization. So all the carbon atoms which are present in these compounds are sp2 hybrid compounds or carbons. It has very low density, around 1.3 to 1.4 gram per centimeter cube. It has very high mechanical strength. My dear friend, this is very important. Density is low and has very high mechanical strength, lightweight with highest strength. So this is the beauty of this material. Please remember, this material is the strongest and has very high stiffness amongst the known material. This is very interesting, you can say, a property in application point of view. This carbon nanotube is the strongest material and has very high stiffness among the known material. Whatever the known materials are there, among this known material, this material has the highest stiffness and highest strength. It has a diameter of 1 nanometer. In multi-wall carbon nanotube, inner layer distance is distance is 3.4 angstrom. So interlayer distance from one layer to other layer distance is 3.4 angstrom. So suppose two walls are there, so one wall and other wall, so in between these two the distance is 3.4 angstrom. The carbon nanotubes has the strongest tensile strength of any known material. See my dear friend, this is the strongest material still any known material. This has highest stiffness in the known material. This carbon nanotube has the strongest tensile strength in of any known material. My dear friend, it also has the highest modulus of elasticity. So Young's modulus is very high. It has the highest modulus of electricity. So these are the, you can say, important mechanical properties of carbon nanotube. Now let us discuss about the electrical property. My dear friend, that's why this carbon nanotube is beautiful material. It is the wonderful material. This material has lot many applications because the many properties are advanced. Many properties are advanced properties. So this material shows many more advanced property. Now we will discuss the electrical property. So if the nanotube structure is armchair structure, then electrical properties are metallic, that is they are good conductor of electricity if the structure is armchair. If the nanotube structure is zigzag, then it is the semiconducting. So it has very small band gap and it is acting as a semiconductor. So this nanotube is the moderate, you can say moderate semiconductor. And if these nanotubes are the chiral, then these are nothing but these are the insulating material. So these are the beautiful properties of a carbon nanotube. A single material either can act as a very good conductor, very good semiconductor, and a good insulator. In the theory, so this is the another important sentence. Please remember this. In the theory, metallic nanotube can carry an electric current density of 4 into 10 to the power 9 ampere per centimeter square, which is more than 1000 times greater than the metal such as copper. Please see the conductivity of copper. Whatever the conductivity of copper is there, the conductivity of the CNT is 1000 times greater than the copper. This is the beauty of carbon nanotubes. So my dear friend, that's why the carbon nanotubes are very much important. Now see the thermal properties. All the nanotubes are expected to be a very good thermal conductors. So these are nothing but these are the very good thermal conductors. So thermal conductivity is very high. Along with the tube, these are the good insulator laterally to the access tube. So my dear friend, this is important thing. Along the tube, straight line along the tube, these are the good conductors, but laterally these are the good insulators. So this is the beauty. How the properties are intercalating, how the properties are intermixing. So this is the important. That's why the CNT is the beautiful material and which has tremendous application. You cannot imagine how many fields the carbon nanotube can be used. Just name the technology, you will find the application of carbon nanotube in that technology. So my dear friend, that's why carbon nanotubes are very important. See, beautiful properties are there. These are the thermal conductor along the tube and thermal insulator laterally to the axis of the tube. It is predicted that the carbon nanotube will be able to transmit up to 6000 watt per meter per Kelvin at room temperature. So this is the thermal property. Compare this to copper metal, well known for its good thermal conductivity, which transmit 385 watt per meter per Kelvin. So see here, how much copper is transmitted? 385. And how much the CNTs are transmitting? 6000. This much, you can say, increase is there. Tremendous increase is there. So 6000 and 385. Compare this value. So that's why these CNTs are a beautiful material which has a tremendous application in many field. Another important property, the temperature stability of carbon nanotube is estimated to be up to 2800 degrees Celsius in vacuum and about 75 degrees Celsius in air. See how much temperature this carbon nanotube can sustain, or thermal stability can remain at how much temperature? In air up to 750 degrees Celsius and in vacuum up to 2800 degrees Celsius. So this has very good space application also. This material can be used in space application also because this can sustain at very high temperature. You can use this material at very high temperature also. It still at very high temperature the temperature stability is there and the thermal conductivity retains at high temperature also. So now we have to discuss about the synthesis of carbon nanotubes. How this carbon nanotube can be synthesized? My dear friend, there are large number of synthesis methods for the carbon nanotubes. Example, there is arc discharge method, there is chemical vapor deposition, there is laser ablation, there is a flame synthesis, there is a sputtering method, there is a spray pyrolysis, there is a electrochemical method, there is a sonochemical methods. So all these methods we are not going to study in our syllabus, only one or two, this arc discharge method and chemical vapor method, that we are going to discuss in our syllabus. So this is the one arc discharge method. We know how this arc discharge method is there. There are two electrode, cathode and anode. So direct current creates a high temperature discharge between two electrodes. So there is a discharge of current between these two electrode, cathode and anode. So the atmosphere is composed of inert gas. Around this there is a inert gas of low pressure, originally used to make C60 fullerene. Initially this method was developed to synthesize the C60 or fullerene, but nowadays this method is commonly used for synthesis of carbon nanotube also. This is the setup of arc discharge method. Detailed method we will study in next slide. So cobalt is the popular catalyst in this method. So what is the arc discharge method? This is the assembly as shown here. This is the, you can say, actual setup, but if we zoom this setup, how this formation takes place. So this is the actual setup, in which there is one cathode, there is one anode, and once we pass the current to the cathode and anode, then the carbon deposit formation takes place. The simple method is there, sparking type of, that's why it is called as arc discharge method. Sparking takes place. The anode is there, cathode is there. Anode is made up of carbon, cathode is made up of certain material or carbon also. So when anode is there, when we pass the current, there is a certain gap between these two electrodes. So the carbon molecule from this anode moves to the cathode and it start depositing on this and try to touch to the anode. So there may be a formation of connection, and that's why it grows on this. And there is a one another, you can say, the motor through which we can increase the distance. The rotor is there, shaft is there, this is moving, and we will just displace this from this place to this place, and in this way there is increase in length of carbon nanotube. So simple, you can say, setup. Diameter, electrode diameter is from 5 to 25 mm. So this electrode has the diameter 5 to 25 mm, 5 to 25 mm. Current generally passed is 50 to 100 ampere. So how much current we have to pass? 50 to 100 ampere. The helium pressure here inside this, how much is the helium pressure? It is 100 to 500 torr, and temperature reaches to 3000 degrees Celsius. So we know the temperature generally reaches to 3000 degrees Celsius. How much is the gap between these two electrodes? 1 mm, and this gap can be increased. So here this is the gas inlet, so gas can be passed. Here is pump to create a vacuum, and there is a cobalt catalyst. Cobalt is deposited here. It is a cobalt catalyst on which the growth takes place. So the cobalt catalyst is very important to grow this carbon nanotube. So this is the 1 mm diameter, which can be increased further, and here the growth of carbon nanotubes. In this way the lines formation takes place, carbon nanotube formation takes place, growth of carbon nanotube takes place. So this is the synthesis method, that is arc discharge method. The next is the chemical vapor deposition, second method. So first method we have discussed, this is the second method, that is chemical vapor deposition. As we know, in chemical vapor deposition, carbon is in the gas phase, then source of energy source transfer energy to carbon. So energy can be transferred to the carbon molecule. Common carbon gases are there. The source of carbons are methane, carbon monoxide and acetylene. We discuss in detail the process. So in chemical vapor deposition, after transfer of the energy, carbon molecule binds to the substrate. There is a catalyst or substrate to which carbon molecule binding takes place. Temperature reaches between 650 to 900 degrees Celsius. This is the important temperature for the synthesis of carbon nanotube by using chemical vapor deposition, and usually yield is 30%. So 30% yield is there. So this is the setup of chemical vapor deposition. Simple method is there, chemical vapor deposition, in which there is a tubular furnace. So there is tubular furnace, there is inlet for gas assembly is there, outlet is there, heating purpose there, sample holder is there, this is the quad board, and we have to keep sample and substrate. So the putting a carbon source in the gas phase, from here we are passing the carbon source as a gas phase. Why carbon source? Because we have to prepare a carbon nanotube. For that we require carbon source, and this carbon source may be methane, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide or acetylene gas. So these gases are passed through this furnace. These are and there is an energy source, heated coil is there, or plasma heating is there. Heating may be a different type, electrical heating, plasma heating. So different type of heating is there to transfer the energy to the gaseous carbon molecule. And once we pass the energy, there is a cracking of molecule takes place, reactive carbon atom formation takes place, which deposits on the substrate. So temperature may be 720 degrees Celsius like this, and nitrogen is for inert, you can say, environment, or it is a flue gas generally. So the carbon diffuses toward the substrate. Here is the substrate we have kept. Carbon generally diffuses toward the substrate, which is heated and coated with the catalyst. So substrate is usually coated with the catalyst. Again, catalyst is very important because the growth of carbon nanotube generally takes place on the surface of catalyst. So what type of catalyst are used here? Generally different catalysts are used. For example, nickel catalyst, iron catalyst, platinum catalyst, cobalt catalysts. So these are the different catalysts which are used in this synthesis, and these catalysts are coated on the substrate, and once the you can say carbon source, gas of the carbon source, that is CO2, carbon monoxide, acetylene gas, methane gas, when transferred through this, it deposits on the surface of catalyst as a carbon nanotube. CNT will be formed on the proper permanent, CNT will be formed if proper parameters should be maintained. We have to maintain certain conditions. So appropriate metal catalyst can preferably grow single nanotubes rather than multi-wall carbon nanotube. If we use a preferential you can say the metal catalyst, appropriate metal catalyst, then should be a single wall carbon nanotube, otherwise there will be a multi-wall carbon nanotube. So depending upon the catalyst, there is formation of single wall carbon nanotube or multi-wall carbon nanotube is decided by the catalyst. So this is the growth mechanism. There are two mechanisms. One is the tip growth mechanism and other is root growth mechanism. So these two are the mechanisms. As we know, in you can say CVD, chemical vapor deposition, synthesis of carbon nanotube takes place on the surface of catalyst. So how this growth takes place? So for the growth of carbon nanotube, there are two mechanisms. One is tip growth, another is root growth. Tip growth means catalyst remains at the tip and the CNT formation takes place in between the catalyst and substrate. So you can see here, this is the metal and this is the substrate. This is the catalyst, this is substrate. Carbon source come here and it will lift up the catalyst, and in this way the growth, these are the carbon nanotube. Growth of carbon nanotube takes place this way it will increase the length. Growth of carbon nanotube takes place and the catalyst is at the tip, and this is called as tip growth. Another is root growth, in which the catalyst act as a root, and on the surface of the catalyst the growth of carbon nanotube takes place. You see here, substrate on which the catalyst is coated, carbon source comes and it will grow on the surface of metal, and in this way the growth takes place. So these are the two mechanisms of growth of carbon nanotube. One is the tip growth and another is root growth carbon nanotube. So there are two main processes or two main steps in the CVD, chemical vapor deposition. First is the catalyst preparation and second is actual synthesis of carbon nanotube. As we know, the catalyst is very important. If we use a proper catalyst, then only there is formation of single wall carbon nanotube. So catalyst preparation is very important step. So how the catalyst can be prepared? Catalyst is generally prepared by sputtering a transition metal onto a substrate. What we have to do? We have to sputter, we have to spray the catalyst on the surface of certain, you can say, substrate. So then the using either chemical etching or thermal annealing, the catalyst particle, you can say, it induces the catalyst particle nucleation. Activation of catalyst can be done by a chemical etching or by thermal annealing. Just add certain chemical like acids, so surface will be active, so activation of catalyst takes place, or by just thermal annealing, that is thermal heating, we can activate the catalyst. So this is the catalyst preparation, very important step. What we have to do? We have to spray a catalyst, make a solution of catalyst, spray on the metal surface, coat on the metal surface and activate it. This is the one step of the catalyst preparation. Second is then thermal annealing result in the cluster formation on the substrate from which the nanotube will grow. So generally it will produce a cluster on which the carbon nanotube will grow. So these are the, you can say, important step in catalyst preparation. So these CVDs are classified into different category depending upon the nature of heating, how we are heating this CVD system. So it may be a plasma enhanced CVD, it may be a thermal chemical CVD, it may be a alcohol catalytic CVD, it may be a vapor phase growth CVD, it may be a aerogel supported CVD. So depending upon the, you can say, system, the CVDs are classified into different category. We don't need to go in detail about this all CVD, just we have to look over. This is catalytic CVD method, only thing simple, just don't worry about this, just understand this. This is the furnace, tubular furnace. This can be heated. Here is the exhaust, here is the substrate, here is the source of carbon. Generally the carbon source are the benzene, toluene, xylene, ferrocyanine. 1 liter we generally mix in benzene, toluene or xylene. Flow rate should be 3 ml per minute. Carrier gas flow rate is 50 ml per minute, and reactor pressure pressure generally atmospheric pressure. Inert gas argon can be used for the flow of this source. So this is the liquid, simple. When this liquid, you can say, fall on this substrate, there is a growth of carbon nanotube here on the substrate takes place. This is the simple method. Don't worry about this, don't bother. There will not be the question on in examination about this. This is only for the sake of understanding. This is only for the sake of simplicity. So this is the simple. Then we know the generally the carbon have different allotrope. It has the diamond is the one allotrope, graphene is the another allotrope, graphite is another, the C60 and carbon nanotube. So there are many allotropes of carbons. So all these are summarized here. Now what are the application of this CNT, carbon nanotube? My dear friend, there are large number of application of this carbon nanotube. Carbon nanotube can be used in electronic industry, it can be used in advanced composite mechanical industry, it can be used in print, paper and packaging industry, it can be used in advanced tire system, it can be used in energy storage, it can be used in fuel cell, it can be used in the energy generation, that is solar cell. So there are large number of applications. So you can see here, this is the one bridge, cable bridge built by using the CNT. You can show this New Silver Jubilee Church built in Italy, Rome, in which the photocatalytic concrete is there, which is made up of carbon nanotube. This is the suspension bridge using CNT. This is the CNT edge bridge in crack formation. So generally whatever the cracks are there, this crack can be filled with the carbon nanotube. So these are the generally this carbon nanotube can be used in the solar cell also. Don't worry, you don't need to go in detail how the solar cell work, but it can be used in solar cell also. Then this carbon nanotube generally used in for development of flat screen of television. You can see now there's LED LCD TV. So in this television the flat screen can be prepared, which has the very high resolution than the human eye can detect. TV screen would be very thin, ultralight and foldable due to the use of this carbon nanotube. That means you can fold your TV and kept somewhere. This is very thin and it is very lightweight. Then badminton racket, because as we know the carbon nanotube is carbon nanotubes are lightest material and strongest material. So the lightest the application for this material is in badminton racket, it is the lightest and strongest. In tennis racket, incorporated carbon nanotubes, generally carbon nanotubes are used in badminton racket and tennis racket. Also the carbon nanotubes can be used in solar cell for the increasing efficiency. It can be used in filtration, it can be used in catalyst for coating purpose. It can be used in energy storage devices like the batteries, fuel cell. It can be used in photovoltaic devices like solar cell. It can be used in sensor, it can be used in battery, it can be used in fuel cell, it can be used in supercapacitor, it can be used as an electrode in different devices, it can be used as a conductor for making carbon fiber, it can be used to store hydrogen, as we have discussed in CNT carbon nanotube. Hydrogen can be stored. My dear friend, being engineer, you know the nowadays there is a crisis of energy and we have to find out the alternative source of energy. Generally the alternative source of energy is hydrogen, and there is a big question. Hydrogen can be easily generated, but there is a big question of storage of hydrogen, how hydrogen can be stored. So there is one another good solution for the storage of hydrogen. Hydrogen can be stored in the generally in the CNT carbon nanotube. So this hydrogen can be easily stored in the carbon nanotube. Again, it has the application in drug delivery. It can be used in body part, orthopedic implant, artificial organs. So by using you know, this is the lightweight and having highest strength. The many orthopedic implants or artificial organs can be prepared by using this carbon nanotube. If there is a fracture, there is a cracking, we can implant the whole you can say our organ by using artificial organ, and this artificial organ can be prepared by using this carbon nanotube. Also it has the application in electronic industry, so there are large number of application in electronic industry. So this is all about the synthesis, properties, and structure and application of carbon nanotube. So remaining part we will discuss in next lecture. So thank you for watching this video. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.